There are patients who come to my clinic and tell me that the lack of opposition bothers them. How many? Maybe in a year I do one. So I'm not saying that we are over-servicing them or not. So I wanted to go through the patients I see. And the other problem I find is the surgery we do for Oppenensplasty. I don't like CAMIT, so I do a modification. So I'll just share what I do, how I assess them, and then you guys can decide. So I think there is a variability in Thenar innervation. That means that the FPB is supplied by the ulnar nerve. So reconstruction of opposition is required in a very small subset of patients. The main activities that require opposition are some activities that require you to form a cone with the thumb, index, and middle finger. So this is, like as shown here, these activities include picking up a coin, using a chopstick, using a brush, etc. So you can see the difference in time taken for the same person on the affected and the unaffected hand. Thenar wasting is sometimes difficult to address, so I try to look at the patients in profile view. And I find there's increased wrinkling on the side that there is wasting. And typically when I test patients for Thenar wasting, I ask them to leave the thumb loose. Then I hold it in maximal palmar abduction and tell them not to allow me to move it. And then I check against resistance. So like I said, Thenar, the lack is best assessed by asking the patient to make this cone. So for median nerve, I ask them to do this. For ulnar nerve, they do the ring and small finger. And I find that the finger sort of collapses as shown here. So a Kapanji 3, 4, 5 indicates good function, but usually patients are able to do 7, 8, 9. So this is one of those scenarios where a Kapanji 3, 4, 5 is what is required, but patients with loss of Thenar function are unable to do that. There are only 2 transfers I do. If you have a palmaris longus, in those patients that request, I do a PL transfer, but I have a modification which I will share. And in the rare patient that doesn't have a PL and really wants it reconstructed, I will use an FDS. So confirming PL, most people use this test, but this cannot be done by patients who don't have, because they cannot abduct the thumb. This is a standard test for assessing PL. So I use the Mishra's test, which is this. You stretch out the palmar aponeurosis and then ask the patient to flex the wrist. So this does not involve the thumb. So I do a limited open carpal tunnel release as shown here. I divide the palmaris longus at the wrist crease and bring it out. This is under local anesthesia. Bring it out in the mid forearm. Then I split the palmaris longus distally based, and right 1 centimeter below, I reinforce the suture with a transverse 2 horizontal mattress sutures. Then I make a long tunnel and the tendon is now here. Then under local anesthesia, I put 1 suture here and ask the patient to move. So I make sure, so as you can see, there's a direct, I make sure that the patient can abduct the thumb as well as bring the thumb back fully flat. Once I'm convinced with the sensation, I go ahead and suture skin. So this is a video and I start mobilizing them. They're just like carpal tunnel. I don't allow them to carry weight for 3 weeks, but this is on post-op day 3 in clinic when they come for the first dressing change. And I ask them to move. So that's my tendon transfer. And this is what I offer to patients with carpal tunnel release. So I don't think it takes extra. And this is what I do. In the rare patient where they insist on FDS, this is somebody with a median nerve injury. I rarely do FDS for patients with carpal tunnel, but this for completion's sake. I use the flexor retinaculum as a whole, ulnar aspect, and suture it. So this is again pre-op, this post-op. I think best you can see in videos. Pre-op video, the speed of picking up the coin, and post-op video. So in summary, all patients with Thenar wasting do not require a tendon transfer. We need to determine if the patient is suitable for reconstruction, which is based on the overall patient health and function and risk of function or morbidity from the tendon transfer, especially the FDS. Also, if the patient will benefit from reconstruction. We should be able to address the perceived functional deficit with our procedure. And lastly, the choice of reconstructive procedure is PL most of the time because there is limited donor morbidity. And in the rare case, if you should have a really strong indication for FDS. I have not done FDS for any patient with carpal tunnel syndrome, but I have done PL. Usually I do 1 transfer a year. Thank you.